Okay, so we are doing Module 4, Lesson 1 homework. Module 4, Topic 1. There we go. So it says, Lamar goes shopping for a flat panel television. So I have a television. Okay, and it says a television is usually described by the length of the screen's diagonal, so from here to here. He finds a great deal on a 42-inch, so that means this is 42 inches. And remember, when you have a TV, it makes a right angle. If the screen's height is 21 inches, what is the width? Okay, so I just plug that into my Pythagorean theorem. So 42 is my hypotenuse, so x squared plus 21 squared equals 42 squared. So then I take my handy dandy calculator and I square these. So I get x squared plus 441 equals 42 squared is 1762. I subtract my 441 from both sides. I'm going to move this over. And I get x squared equals 1323. And then I take the square root of both sides of the equal sign. And x, I'm going to write it over here. X is going to be approximately 36.4, and was that inches? Inches. Is that what we got? 36.4. Awesome. So the next part says the border around the screen is 2 inches. What are the dimensions of the television, including the border? So now it wants to put a border around it. I'm going to do this. So we're going to put a border around it. So I have border, and from here to here is 2 inches. And from here, oops, didn't mean to do that. From here to here is 2 inches. From here to here is 2 inches. From here to here is 2 inches. So 1B, if this was 21, I'm going to add 2 from one side and add 2 for the other side. That's going to get me 25 inches on one side. And then we said 36.4. So 36.4, and we have 2 inches on one side and 2 inches on the other side. So that's going to get me 40.4 inches. Is it wanting the diagonal also? Oh, on letter C, it wants to know the diagonal. Okay, so now what I need to do, I'm going to use this 1C. So now I have 40.4 squared. I wonder if I can make this pencil smaller. Yeah, 40.4 plus, what did we just say, 25 squared equals C squared. So 40.4 squared equals 1632.16 plus 625 equals C squared. So I add that to 625, and I get 2257.16 equals C squared. Take the square root of both sides. And I get approximately 47.5, oops, I forgot to put inches, is equal to C. Okay, so now I'm looking at this next one. It says Lamar sells his old television in the neighborhood's garage sale. It has a rectangular screen with a diagonal of 27 inches. A potential buyer is concerned about the television fitting in the 24-inch square opening of his entertainment center. Okay. Awesome. What is the width of the television screen? Okay. So, television screen. So I'm going to take x squared plus 15 squared equals 27 squared. So I get x squared plus 225 equals, this is one I don't know off the top of my head. I used to, 729. Oh, I should have known that. Duh. Okay, subtract 225 from both sides. And I get x squared equals, that's a 4, that's a 0, that's a 5. And so x is approximately, and we're going to 504, get 22.4 inches. Okay. Will the television fit in the buyer's new entertainment? Well, yes, it will, because the entertainment center hold on. Sorry. It helps if you read the whole question. Okay. A potential buyer is concerned about the television fitting in the 24-inch square opening. Oh, well, opening, hold on. Oh, I need to read. Well, like, will probably not, because probably, oops, that was probably not fit. I was going to say it would fit if there's not a border, but I didn't remember that old TVs, they have a border around them. So unless that border is really small, there's no way that something that's 22.4 inches is going to fit in something that's 24 if there's any kind of border on it. That I needed to pay more attention to that. Okay, so this next one says Clayton is responsible for changing the broken light bulb in a street lamp. The street lamp is 12 feet high. So I'm going to draw a picture. So I have a street lamp that's 12 feet high. Okay. And then says Clayton places the base of his ladder 4 feet from the base of the street lamp. So he places it, this drawing is really bad. Hold on, let me draw it better. I'm going to do it this way. Okay, it's 12 feet high, and he puts it 4 feet away. And we want to know, it says Clayton can extend his ladder from 10 feet to 14 feet. How long must his ladder be to reach the top? Okay, so in order to do this, I need to do, that was weird, 4 squared plus 12 squared equals x squared. So 16 plus 144 equals x squared. So that's going to be a 0, 4, 5, 6, 160 is equal to x squared. So I take my handy dandy and I put in 160 and I get 12.6. 12.6 is approximately, oops, I forgot feet. Okay, so it says Clayton can extend his ladder from 10 feet to 14 feet. So is 12.6 going to be within that? Yes, it is. So he has a ladder that is long enough. How long must his ladder be? It will work because it has to be at least 12.6. Okay, a scaffold has a diagonal support beam to strengthen it. If the scaffold is 15 feet high, okay, so we're going to build a scaffold. We're just going to make it, okay, you know, the scaffolding that's on the side of a building. Okay, kind of looks like that, and you stand on it. So it has a diagonal support. So diagonal support beam to strengthen it. If the scaffold is 15 feet high, so if this is 15 feet high and 5 feet wide, so this is 5 feet wide, how long must the beam be? So it wants to know how long the beam is. So 5 squared plus 15 squared has to equal x squared. So 25 plus 225 equals x squared. 250 is equal to x squared. I take the square root of both sides and I plug that into my handy dandy calculator, and I get approximately 15.8 feet is what it would be. Okay, then next I'm going to change the color again. I have a rectangular swimming pool. Okay, it is 24 meters by 10 meters. Jane said that she could swim diagonally from one corner to the other, so without taking a breath. Carly said that she could swim much farther than Jane and still swim diagonally from one corner to another. Determine the distance Jane and Carly must have swum. Okay, so Jane is going to swim diagonally. So we're going to do Jane first. So that means I'm going to take 10 squared, and I'm going to add 24 squared, and that's going to equal x squared. So that's a 100 plus 576 equals x squared. So that's 676. It's equal to x squared. I take the square root, and I get 26 meters is equal to x. So that's how far Jane went. And still swim diagonally. Carly said she could swim much farther than Jane and still swim diagonally from one corner to the other. What? Oh, wait a second. I'm sorry. Jane said that she could swim diagonally from one corner to another without taking a breath. Okay, that makes sense. Carly said she could swim farther than Jane and still swim diagonally. So Carly swam the length of the diagonal, which is 26 meters. Jane swam along the length of the pool and then along the width of the pool, which would be, okay, so maybe it's just me and I'm not understanding it, but that's okay. One of the ladies is swimming from here to here, and it's 24 plus 10. I don't think this makes a lot of sense. So whoever is doing the swimming from here to here swims more than the person that swims the diagonal. That's all that means. Okay. So then, determine the length of the unknown side. So I would take b squared. I thought I changed the size of this. We're going to change it again. B squared plus 5 squared equals 13 squared. So that's b squared plus 25 equals 169. Subtract 25 from both sides. I get b squared equals 144. So b equals 12. Next one. For here, I get a squared plus 15 squared equals 12 squared. A squared equal, oops, try that again, plus 225 equals 144. I subtract 225 from both sides. And I get a squared equals negative 81. Now, you should have been able to tell from the very beginning that this wasn't going to work because the hypotenuse is supposed to be the longest side, but they have 12 being the hypotenuse. So you should have been able to tell from the very beginning that it wasn't going to work. Okay, so let's try this one. So I have a squared plus 5 squared equals 10 squared. A squared plus 25 equals 100. Subtract 25 from both sides. And I get a squared equals 75. I take the square root of both sides. And I get a equals, the square root of 75 would be 8.7-ish. Oops. Approximately 8.7. Over here, I would take, sorry, I'm trying to give myself room. I would take b squared plus 3 squared equals 9 squared. So that would be b squared plus 9 equals 81. I subtract 9. I get b squared equals 72. I take the square root of both sides, and I get b is approximately 8.5. Okay, so this next one, I'm going to take, and I'm going to call it x because I like x. X squared, that's a horrible x, plus 3 squared equals 6 squared. So x squared plus 9 equals 36. I subtract 9 from both sides. I get x squared equals 27. I take the square root of both sides. And I get approximately 5.2. Next one, I take 8 squared plus 10 squared, and that's going to equal x squared because I like x. So that's 64 plus 100 equals x squared. So 164 equals x squared. So I take the square root of 164, and I get 12.8 is approximately what x is. We're skipping the stretch, even though I really like the stretch. It's like my favorite thing ever. So we're going to estimate the radical. So the square root of 38 is between the square root of 36, square root of 49. So that means it's going to be 6 point something. It's only 2 away here, and it's closer to 9 away here. So that's going to be about 6.1 or 6.2. The square root of 14 is between the square root of 9 and the square root of 16. This is 3, this is 4, so it's going to be 3 point something. Right here is 5 away, right here is 2 away, so it's closer to this, to the 4. So I'm going to say about 3.8-ish. Okay, so fractions are rational numbers. 5 is a natural number. 5 is a whole number. 5 is an integer. 5 is a rational number. And it's a whole number. Okay, so this one, let's see. I combine like terms. I get 7x plus 12 equals, I multiply here, I get 30. Multiply here, I get plus 4x. Subtract 4x from both sides, and I get 3x plus 12 equals 30. I subtract 12 from both sides, I get 3x equals, not that number, 18. I divide by 3, and I get x equals 6. We'll run this one. 6c plus 15 equals 12 plus 3c plus 12. Combine like terms, I get 6c plus 15 equals 3c plus 24. Subtract the 3c from both sides, get 3c plus 15 equals 24. Subtract 15 from both sides, I get 3c equals 9. Divide by 3, and I get c equals 3.